Shabbat Shalom. Happy New Year. One of my favorite parts of my newish job as a rabbi is working with conversion students, people who are choosing Judaism. A couple of weeks ago, I met with Tom. I don't think he's here today, but many of you know Tom, who is nearing the culmination of the process and preparing to meet with the Beit Din. We met to talk about his choice of a Hebrew name. Tom decided to take the name Yaakov because Jacob's God wrestling resonated very deeply with him. Wonderful. Once that question was resolved, I asked Tom to consider the names of his Jewish parents. In our tradition, after all, our name is never merely Jacob or Rachel. Every Jewish name includes the name of one's parents, an acknowledgement of where we come from. Traditionally, Gerim, converts, assume the parental names of our first ancestors, Abraham and Sarah. But I shared with Tom that Rabbi Sager, Zichrono Livracha, used to suggest the possibility that a person converting to Judaism might forego that tradition in honor of honoring someone in their life who feels like a Jewish parent to them. Tom said, "That's beautiful, but no thank you." What's really meaningful to me, he said, is bearing the names of Abraham and Sarah. He said, it links me to this chain of tradition. It connects me with my adoptive ancestors. Vayechi, the Parashat of endings and of blessings, teaches us that blessing is precisely this act, linking a person to a lineage without erasing their individuality. In Judaism, our ancestors abound. We invoke them in prayer, we study their words, their names become our names. The Shalshelet Dorot, the chain of generations, binds us to the past and to one another. Nowhere is this more tangible than in one of our most beloved home rituals, Birkat HaYeladim, the blessing of the children. In this ritual, parents or maybe grandparents step into the role of Kohanim, offering blessings that link their children to our ancestral hope. While the core words of Birkat Kohanim, that part of that blessing, come from the book of Numbers, the opening formula of Birkat HaYeladim, as we heard just a few moments ago, comes from this week's Torah portion when Jacob blesses his grandchildren as he nears the end of his life. Le'emor, Yisamcha Elohim Ke'Ephraim v'Kemenashe. So he blessed them that day, saying, may God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. Why Ephraim and Menashe? It's striking that the blessing for boys invokes Joseph's children, while the parallel blessing for girls' names are matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Rabbi Mordechai Ilan suggests that Ephraim and Menashe are held up because they are the first pair of biblical brothers who do not treat each other as rivals. After generations of fraternal conflict from Cain and Abel through Jacob and Esau, these brothers model a relationship that is sustained by peace. In blessing our children, we pray that they too will forge relationships built on peace and sustained by peace. Rabbi Shmuel Homener offers a different lens. He says, Ephraim and Menashe grew up as minorities within the Egyptian society, surrounded by a dominant culture that threatens to engulf them and flatten out their distinctiveness. They face the pressures of assimilation, and yet they remain rooted in their people and their faith. In this reading, we bless our children to remain themselves, even when it's hard to do so. After this initial blessing, Jacob goes on to bless each of his sons individually. Some of these blessings feel less like blessings and more like prophecies or maybe even moral reckonings. Yet in each case, Jacob speaks to the specific nature of the son who is standing before him. Sforno comments that Jacob gave an individual blessing to each one in accordance to what he perceived as the son's need in view of his eventual destiny. And Or HaChaim, another commentator, similarly notes that each person received a blessing in keeping with his individual personality and achievements. Jacob, at the end of his life, models a sort of philosophy of blessing that holds two truths as one. Each child belongs to a shared story, our shared story, and each child requires a blessing that is uniquely their own. Birkat HaYeladim infuses our hopes, our fears, our love into our children. But more than that, it blesses the relationship between parent and child. It sanctifies the bond that links the generations. Even or especially when that relationship becomes tense or fraught, Birkat HaYeladim invokes that Shalshelet Dorot, that chain of generations, to remind us of the common source that we share, even as we honor the singular gifts of each child, of each person. When it comes to family life, it's said that the days are long, but the years are short. Birkat HaYeladim has taken on a greater significance for me personally as I watch the number of Friday nights before our youngest Talia leaves for college steadily dwindle. Most Friday evenings, when I bless my daughters, I try to remember to add a silent extra prayer that a rabbi friend taught me years ago. God, bless me to be the parent that this child needs right now. In a tradition so deeply concerned with transmitting faith across generations, Birkat HaYeladim gives us a moment amid the carpools and the homework and the doctor's appointments to pause and pray, not only for our children, but also for ourselves. It asks that the Holy Blessed One help us each become worthy links in the sacred chain of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.